Welcome to the cooking game, and you're cooking with Dave. My name is Dave, and we're going to focus on showing you how to prepare elk meat, as well as different game meats. That's what this show is going to be about. What we've got for you today is we're going to go ahead and show you how to make some stuffed mushroom caps, along with some bacon wrapped shrimp. We're going to stuff those as well. I've got some different ideas for you here. We'll go into cutting some elk backstrap, showing you how to do some bacon wrapped filet mignon on the grill. It's really, really good. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing we've got here is we've got our stuffed mushroom caps. What I like to stuff them with is I'll use some sausage, and we'll put a little chorizo in there too. So we'll get busy on that, so that'll cook. A lot of times when I'm cooking up my meats like that, so they don't burn, I just simply put a little bit of water in there, and then that'll evaporate. Now hollowing out your mushroom caps, basically we'll brown this a little bit, and then I'll show you the other additives that we're going to put in with it. But on your mushroom caps, you'll go ahead and you'll clean them out, hollow them, and pull your stems. Once you've twisted and pulled your stems, this is one of the main ingredients for your stuffing. You can use one of these little tools. They've got them at different cutlery restaurants and stores and stuff. But then you'll go ahead and you'll slice them, get the ends off, make them nice. And what I usually do is I'll mash them first, and then just go ahead and go in with the knife and just cut them up. Mushrooms do shrink, so you don't have to mince them real small. I've already got some here prepared. So once this starts browning and separating a little bit, I did add a little chorizo in here, so give it a little bit of flavor. If you like it a little spicier, you can put that in, or you can leave it out. That's entirely up to you. There's no wrong way to do this, so just go with it and have fun. This is basically the appetizer to get people started, and that way not everybody's starving and hovering over the grill when you're trying to prepare your meats. Then we'll go ahead and add a little bit of diced onions, our mushrooms, and garlic. I love that garlic. You can never have too much garlic. I've got some here already ready to go, so I'm going to show you guys how to stuff these. This is basically your sauteed meats. This is how it's going to come out once it's done, okay? There again, it's kind of dark colored just because of the chorizo, but that does give it seasoning, and that's entirely up to you. Some people don't really like that, but I do, and Dave's cooking, so when you're in charge, then you can go ahead and do it the way you want to do it. Another main ingredient to this right here is what I call Dave's seasoning salt. I've got a different little arrangement in here, ranging from, you know, your regular salts. I've got some garlic salt, some celery salt, a little bit of meat tenderizer, whatever kind of mood I'm in that day. So we're going to let that cook a little bit. Basically, when you're stuffing these mushrooms, it does make it a lot easier using, you know, tools like this. This is basically a catering tool rather than a spoon, because it goes in real nice and neat and you can pack it. And pretty much that's all there is to it. Once you get them all stuffed, then you can go with your choice of cheeses. And right here I've got some mozzarella. I've got some regular Colby Jack, as well as some blue cheese. Blue cheese is my favorite, but there's a lot of people that don't like blue cheese. Doesn't that smell good, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
So once you go ahead and top them, you know, with the blue cheese, there again you can still use the same utensil for the cheese. That makes it easy. Just bring your mushroom over here, put a little on there, and just kind of mash it down around the middle. The mozzarella is probably the hardest because it doesn't want to stick together. Now you got to be careful when you are cooking these with different cheeses, because the mozzarella will tend to cook and brown a lot faster than the blue cheese. You might as well do one of each, huh? I got 3 cheeses here and I got 3 stuffed mushrooms, so the numbers are against us. You always end up with extra stuffing on these, and what I came up with is, I love to garden and everything, is stuffing some green chilies. So let me grab one of those real quick over here. Basically, when you cut these ones here, the best way to cut them is don't try and cut them right back by the stem there. You want to go back about a 1/2 inch or 3/4. That makes it easier to pull the seeds and the veins and everything else out. And then all you do is just twist and pull, and there you go. You've got your seeds. There again, you use that same little tool, hollow her out inside. You can even tap on it if you want to get some of them seeds out. It depends on how hot they are. I had one of these the other day, and boy, it was pretty warm. Just stuff it on in there. Get it about halfway, and then you throw a little bit of cheese or put whatever you want in there. I mean, be creative. That's what cooking's all about. It doesn't have to be a bummer. It's supposed to be fun. I'll top it with a little bit of this right here. Presto. Cook those in the oven approximately 25 minutes at 325. With the cheeses, sometimes it's a little different, but basically about 20-25 minutes at 325 and you're pretty good. Let's move on over here to some of the shrimp. All right, now we're going to go ahead and work on that shrimp that I talked so highly about. This is one of my favorites. Basically, you go ahead and get the bigger shrimp. You want your jumbos because it makes it easier when you're stuffing them. Go ahead and clean them, peel them. I just leave the tails on just because they turn nice bright red and it looks good on the plate. But then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll season these shrimp and stuff them, and then go ahead and bacon wrap them. Put them on the skewers. This is what they're going to look like when they're done. Now what I do when I stuff them is I like to use garlic, all right, and then I'll use some breadcrumb. That way it helps the garlic stay together and it holds it in, so otherwise the garlic would just fall right out while it's cooking. In order to hold the breadcrumb and the garlic together, I use a little bit of lemon. It's real friendly until you squirt it in somebody's eyes. Anyways, talk a little bit about our show. What our show is going to consist of is dealing with game meats. Not just narrowed down to elk, but we started out with elk here. I did put a little bit of antelope on the grill, just had some prepared already. A little bit of breadcrumbs. A little bit of garlic. Just mix it up real good. I usually like to lay out at least 3 or 4, even maybe a little more when you're doing them, because if you do them one at a time, it tends to take a long time to do it. I'll do about 5 or 6. Okay, after you've seasoned it up, go ahead and stuff it up here with your stuffing, which I showed you how to make there a minute ago with our bread. Grab your bacon. I usually start on the side, wrap it all the way around, bring it up. Kind of want to try and get them to come up at an angle on your skewer, that way the tail lays down nicely. Once you've done that, you've got a couple racks there. I like to throw a little lemon on, and those are ready for the barbecue. Okay, well that pretty much shows you how to stuff the mushroom caps. We're going to go ahead and cut some meat now after the first segment. What I'm going to show you is the best way to cut this backstrap so that you can do your bacon wraps. You probably want to cut them in about 3/4 inch strips. I'll cut a couple of them out here for you. And then you kind of want to trim the gristle off here. Just get everything nice so that you can wrap them. Get rid of the tough meat. What I like to do with this meat here, rather than throwing it away, is roast it up and fry it for the dog. He gets real happy when I do that. Got to remember with this game meat, it's not where you get the game meat, but how you make it taste after you get it, because a lot of game meats are going to taste a little more gamey depending on where they're feeding. If they're feeding up in the high country, they're eating on a lot more meadow. If they're down a little lower, then they're eating the sagebrush. The sagebrush is going to make them taste a little bit more wild, but you can control that with different seasonings on getting the wild taste out. This meat came from up north. A friend of mine went hunting with him up there, and we got some up at Valle Vidal. His dad had a license there. It's a once-in-a-lifetime hunt. But boy, it sure is some beautiful country. What I'm going to do with this other part of the meat is I'm going to trim it all off, and I'm going to show you how to go ahead and make a stuffed roast, rather than the backstrap. There's different ways to go ahead and make this. Extra lean meat, so you've got to be careful not to overcook it. Boy, that dog's gonna love this, huh? What you want to do on your roast here is just go ahead and slice it halfway through the middle. Not all the way, but that way you can roll it back down after you stuff it. We're gonna go ahead and wrap these bacon wraps real quick, and I'll show you how to marinate and season them. We marinate them over here with Dave's seasonal juices. We don't call it marinade over here in this kitchen. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and crop your meat a little bit and try and roll it in. Start your bacon around. Pull it kind of tight. It'll shrink up when you've got it on the grill. Pull it kind of tight, and what that does, that holds all the meat together, because it is basically a tenderloin. Best part of the meat. The backstrap actually comes from the top part of the spine. Now what I like to do is we're going to put these in bags. So naturally, they're both in a bag. You don't want these toothpicks to puncture the bag. So what you do is you just pierce them both together. Okay, that makes it easy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw a little bit of Dave's seasonal salts. We've got a little mixture here, and I'll share that with you a little later in the show. But what we're going to do is go ahead and marinate those up a little bit. We've got Dave's juices mix over here. Real important on my juice mix is, number one, the beer helps the meat to tenderize a little bit as long as you don't overdo it. And I don't like to get too crazy, but a little half a shot of whiskey, that helps too. And about a half a teaspoon of brown sugar. Want to keep it sweet. Go ahead and we'll put them in the bag. Just like so. Usually best to go ahead and marinate these for, I like to marinate them for a minimum 3 days. That way everything gets in there real good. If you have a little bit of other meat, such as the rump roast or something like that, you want to go ahead and pierce the meat a little bit, and we'll have another edition on doing rump roast. We'll show you how to cut it. A lot of times if you're going to spend the day in the kitchen cutting meat, which often that's what I do, get it all over with, I'll go ahead and I'll package these up and put them in the freezer and have them all freeze, packaged, so that all you gotta do is just take them out, let them thaw, and go from there. We had it cut earlier. Just go ahead and roll it open. Hit it with a little bit of seasoning salt, which is actually Dave's seasoning salt. Just a little bit of garlic in there. I like to use breadcrumbs in the middle here for the main reason that it keeps my juices in. So don't be shy with that. Go ahead and have fun. That's what it's all about. A little bit of onion in there, and last but not least, put some lemons. Close it up. You can always go ahead and baste the top. And finish the inside. Keep that in there. Well, it looks like that's ready for the grill. Had a little extra antelope left, so I decided to go ahead and enlighten everybody and put some of that on the grill. That's gonna be really, really good. And we've got our other stuff. Spice it up, keep it moist. Welcome back, and while those are grilling, I'm going to show you how to make a quick, lazy meal. Okay, this is one of the easier ones. We're going to do a stir fry real quick using the elk portions that we cut off from the back strap, some of the leftovers. Like I said, if you cut them and freeze them while you're cutting up all the meat, pull this out of the freezer, it's ready to go. I even cheated on the vegetables. I went ahead and bought the frozen stir fry vegetables. So if you're coming home and you're tired and you just really don't feel like making a big old meal, but you can make an excellent meal. That's the advantage about getting game meat and having it all at once. What we've got here is the elk. I'm going to throw in a little stir fry sauce along with some soy sauce in there. I like to cook the meat real good because everything else cooks pretty fast. And there again, we're going to throw in some of our garlic. Gotta love that garlic. Keep the vampires away. Always gotta have some lemon in there. Wish you could smell this through the camera. Here we've got some bay scallops. Seafood and game meat always seems to go good together. It offsets the taste, and for those people that get scared of game meats, they are a little less feared when there's some of the seafoods involved. A lot of times your stir fries will have nuts. What I like to do is I just get a can of the mixed nuts that has everything in there. Run it through and crush it. Put some of those. Just gives it a little flavor. I'm not too fond of chestnuts, but some people like them, and if that's what you want to put in there, then you can put that in there. Sizzle, sizzle. Look at that. Wonder how we're doing on the grill. It's almost about time to eat, don't you think, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of veggies in there. Oh. And like I say, once you open the packages and defrost the meat, this dinner here for you and your family would only take probably about 25 minutes. And then you'd be good to go. Doesn't take long at all. I might not wait for you. I might have to just go ahead and eat right now. But that's your stir fries right there. Throw this over a little bit of rice. And there's dinner. Well, this brings us to the end here, but we get to see the finished products here. And I had just as much fun cooking for you. I hope you enjoyed the show. But right here, first of all, we've got our bacon wrap with our bacon wrap shrimp stuffed. Asparagus always goes, mashed potatoes and gravy, and the red meat, meat and potatoes, man, that's me. Over here we've got our stuffed roast. That looks good. Doesn't that look good, Mike? Last but not least, our easy meal. 25-minute preparation here, and the kids aren't screaming. Over here, some more of our stuffed shrimp. These are how those green chili actually turned out. Very nice meal. Very good way to cook elk. And we're going to be doing a lot of different meats and stuff here in the future. I hope to see you again. Oh, I forgot about one thing. Every show has a good close. What we've got today is we're going to go ahead and give a little tips on pack attack. If you're out there and you're stuck for a couple days, it's always good to know what you should have in your pack and what's dead weight. First of all, it's always important, to have your water. Got to have that water. Flashlights, extra batteries, a lighter. Don't forget to wear your orange. Well, that was a good match, huh? Custom designed. And most importantly, if you're going to be out there for 2 or 3 days, you definitely want to have your baby wipes. Always get the thin packs because it's easier to carry and you don't have so much weight. And that way you don't end up with a little bit of a rash when you come home. Look forward to seeing you guys again, and thanks for tuning in.
Let's start over again.
Yeah?
When we're talking about the...
Stay loose, stay loose, stay loose. Don't tighten up, Dave. Don't tighten up. Stay loose. Stay loose.